Hello, sweet souls. This is DTO in the Flow, wanting you to know that today I get to interview an extraordinarily talented soul, Tina Rose. And before we get into the interview, I want you to see that she has a brand new album called Love Letters. And we would love to know where you are located. So type in, put it in the chat. This is a live streaming interview today, and we'd love to hear where you're at. I happen to be in Costa Rica, and Tina is in San Diego, and we have a special violinist that will be showing up later, so stay tuned for our extra special guest. And we're today live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the places and spaces, and we always honor wherever you're at, and to make sure that you understand it's interactive, comment, ask a question. We all know sharing is caring. And what this platform is all about is bringing alive the conversation about the power of art and music, and how music reflects life and life reflects music, and commenting with anything. Even if you have a fun emoji, that's always a great way for us to simply know that you're out there in real time. Okay, so let's start off by bringing on Tina Rose so she can speak specifically about this amazing debut album called Love Letters. So without further ado, let's bring on Tina Rose. How are you, Tina? Great to have you.
Hi, Dave. So wonderful to be here. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yes, absolutely. And as you know, I'm very familiar with your music, and there's more and more people that are listening, experiencing your music. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do our 5Q interview. So let's kick it off with question number 1. So let us hear the backstory. So when did you begin your personal journey with music?
Wow. Okay. Well, to me, music has always brought joy to my life. And I grew up in a family where actually my aunt was a trained opera singer. One of my sisters was with the San Francisco Opera Company, and I had an uncle who was a lounge singer, and my father loved to sing. And so I have very wonderful, reminiscent, fabulous stories and memories of growing up with song all around. My grandmother played piano and sang all the time. So from that platform, it was natural for everybody to just kind of sing. For the most part, I would say I've been a shower singer most of my life until I wrote a book for children and started touring around the United States. And I thought one day, wow, on the scary meter, beyond speaking in front of a conference room full of people, what would be scarier than that? Well, there's bungee cord jumping and skydiving and such, but I thought singing in front of people would really be a challenge. So I went back home from touring nationally, speaking on my children's program, and decided to take some singing classes, group singing classes. And it was wonderful. It was therapeutic. I loved it. I went to a friend's topping off party, a friend whose home had burned, and before they put the roof on the house, he had a big dance party, hired a wonderful R&B band. The band leader invited me up on stage. His comment was, "Well, I see you can dance, but can you sing?" And I took him up on the challenge, jumped up on stage, grabbed the microphone, and we sang an Aretha Franklin song.
I love Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, and so that and then I started singing eventually with this R&B band as a special guest vocalist.
Well, I dug up a photo from your Facebook. Tell us about this. Looks like blast from the past.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. That is my daughter next to me. I'm in the kind of reddish dress. And Steve Cachet, who's on the guitar, I believe he played with the Steve Miller Band, if I'm not mistaken, or one of those big bands in the day back in the 80s. And he was the lead guitarist. So this was at a private party, and spontaneously, my daughter and I got up and sang. And the song that we're actually going to be speaking of today, the butterfly song,
Mhm.
Steve came to my house one day and I said, "Hey, I've got this new song. Let's try it out. I have a keyboard at home." And and some of the lyrics just seemed to pop out when Steve and I were practicing this song. Some of the lyrics, extended lyrics in the song. So it was kind of cool. So he was an inspiration. And I'll just
Wonderful.
say one last thing. The first song that I really remember as a child that stuck with me, and I probably was about 6 or 7, I played "Fly Me to the Moon" on the piano.
Oh, such a
So,
great
yeah,
Frank. Such a
an
great one.
oldie.
I
Mhm.
love that. So that leads us into question number 2. So, of course, you listen to all these beautiful, amazing, inspirational, epic songs like Fly Me to the Moon. At what point, question number 2 is what inspired you to begin your pathway, which you're on now, speaking about your debut album, to you like creating? It looks like maybe those spontaneous jams and just having these ideas. I know you're an author as well, so you're a natural at writing lyrics. So what was it that really got you to say, I'm a singer and you're going to create your own music besides just covers, but you're creating your own?
Okay, well, without going too much into the backstory around my other hobby, which is composing love letters for others, uh, I I started writing songs when I was with the R&B band. The band leader had a relative, a little granddaughter in Nashville who had a serious illness. Her name was Patience. I found myself writing a poem about her because of her name and because of her predicament, and just sort of thinking, how why would a parent name their newborn Patience and go through this difficult time when their child is seriously ill. And in the midst of writing this poem, another song, which is on my album, Up in Smoke, came flying through, literally, just like it streamed through my consciousness. I jumped out of bed, and as I say, I I said, "My kingdom for a pen. I need to write this down." And this inspired song came through me in a few minutes. I called the band leader, Gregory, and he then said, "Wow, we're putting that to music." When we did that first song, put it to music, Dave, it was as though I were given permission and validation, if you will. So from that day forward, these songs, these lyrics, and the melodies would just come through me just unexpectedly. Sometimes I'd have to pull over to the side of the road. Other times I would just wake up in the morning with a song in my heart, so to speak. And and I think the songs are reflective of life. My background as a family therapist and such, dealing with the realm of relationship for the most part.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
love that in different songs. So you've been featuring a variety of songs this year since you launched your album. And so I think it'd be wonderful, first of all, to show your album, which is called Love Letters. And that dovetails beautifully with what you were sharing as being an author and writing inspired heart love letters. And then having these songs that are coming through the heart and just, hitting you like a bolt of lightning is coming in. So that's beautiful. And then your first song that you launched was called Your Kiss. And I love this
Yeah.
photo and being connected to the ocean and the waves. And then, of course, we had Soul Glow. And then this month, we're featuring a song called Butterflies. And before we get into that, I'd love to hear from you. How are people responding to your album and your music? And so that's my question 3 for you.
Okay. All righty. So, very serendipitously, nearly 2 years ago, I met a singer-songwriter while I was, at a conference, mastermind in Las Vegas. And, she I just commented to her. Her name is Lynn Rose, beautiful singer-songwriter. And I said, wow, I love that you've spent your life with your music. And that just seems like a dream come true. I have written some songs. She said, well, can I hear the lyrics? So I shared some lyrics. And the next minute, she said, wow. And she immediately contacted violin. Here's we're getting some reverberation there. At any rate, she immediately contacted the award-winning brothers Corin, Isaac and Torald Corin, who are phenomenal musicians, toured with Coldplay and Pink and Bon Jovi and Rod Stewart. And they had a songwriter's journey where they actually helped musicians that were not out there yet to get their music out there. And that's sort of how it began. Little did I know that they would fall in love with my voice, the brothers. And yeah. And so when we were discussing the lyrics, which they loved my lyrics, they felt they were so alive, as they put it. I was then asked if I ever had a melody for the lyrics. Well, to me, that was a no-brainer. Of course, I couldn't imagine writing a song without the lyrics. As such, when I was asked to record on a Zoom call in the middle of the day, cold turkey, some of the melodies with the lyrics, I did so, and they came back to me the next day and said they really, really wanted to do every single song I've ever written, and there was no one but me to sing my songs. So you can only imagine how that made me feel. And again, it was such a validation. So this album is just been a beautiful journey. Along the way, I've also had the great fortune to have some other musicians, such as Chris Del Camino, who has added amazing saxophone riffs, Kent Evans Wood, who plays harmonica on one of the songs, and the lovely Jamie Shadowlight and her amazing violin talent. So it's altogether been a potpourri of music and joy, and just an amazing opportunity. While so many people have had a difficulty with our challenging times right now, I feel so fortunate, so blessed to have created this amazing gift, this amazing, how do I put it, amazing offering that my life has a legacy to it now. And this Love Letters album that speaks straight from my soul.
Such a lovely album. And this is a 10-song experience. And wow, it's really powerful. I love the image. I love your album artwork, Tina Rose, Love Letters. And I love how it's all connected to, as you're saying, there's a very challenging time that we're all going through in the world. And for us to remind ourselves of love and the ancient art of writing letters, right? Even writing notes to ourselves, reminding each other, even with a bar of soap right on the mirror, I am worthy, I'm loved, I am loved. I feel like it's a time for all of us to raise the vibrations and bring in hope. And talking about bringing in hope or energies, I would love to have question 4 be brought up, which is, tell us about the song Butterflies. And I can't wait to share this album artwork. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's multi-dimensional. I love the silhouette. It's very classy, and the butterflies. And I feel, as you were mentioning, if we go into the metaphor of metamorphosis, right? Of the cocoon, of going into this transformational stage we are in the world and really emerging as a butterfly. And really, as we know, during any major pandemic or plague in human history, there's always a renaissance period that emerges afterwards because all this art and it's happening inward, right? So we're always playing and creating. So for you to be so prolific, especially during these times, says a lot about your character and your courageousness to go for it anyway, right?
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Yeah. Well, as you were just saying previously about love letters and what is written down in a love letter carrying a certain frequency, if you will, uh, similar lyrics are words and melody that expands upon that frequency in a whole way that can really touch the heart of another. With the song Butterflies, to me, it means so much. Like you say, metamorphosis, transformation. And my daughter and I once created this inspirational card deck um, entitled A to Z Power Cards for Children. And we we painted 26 paintings and we put a power word with each one. And I'm going to pull up the card that happened to be in the deck, which I didn't realize until recently. Can you see it? The butterflies. And what the opening word, well, it's called open. And the imagery is butterflies. And the conversational starter is being willing to listen and share with others, being clear and open to new experiences. And so I feel the song Butterflies, um, it really it touches upon that idea of excitement, being open to love. And I think most of us, hopefully all of us, can relate to that feeling of having butterflies when you are so excited to have a connection with a significant other, with a lover, a spouse, a partner, and it's the romance. I really feel that romance is one of those attributes of mankind that must not be forgotten, but should be rejuvenated, should be present in our lives because it's magical. And so the butterfly is, yeah, coming from the caterpillar to the cocoon and transforming into that expression of freedom, of being open, of beauty, of touching the heart of another, of flying free. To me, butterflies are amazing, and I know Jamie has a special affinity, as I understand, to butterflies,
Mhm.
and that is an interesting story in and of itself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing about, especially your daughter, and how there's that synergy and that amazing mother-daughter connection. And she was at your launch party, and so I got to see her when she was there with your grandchild. And yeah, there's such a beautiful undertone around how we get to emerge through. And I actually read something recently where only 10% of all caterpillars ever become butterflies. A lot of them die of dehydration or just conditions of
Mm.
nature. So, if you're truly courageously stepping forward into this transformational process and we're emerging, we're keep on moving forward, we're persisting, I feel it's such a beautiful message about this creature. So, with that said, let's bring on the violinist that is featured on your song Butterflies. Thanks for being here, Jamie. How are you? Oh, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Oops.
There we go. Hi,
Hi, Jamie.
Tina. Hi, Dave.
Hey,
Great to see
Jamie.
you.
So inspiring, so beautiful with the words and the energy. I'm sitting here listening, and my heart just feels open.
Well, that's a beautiful experience since the butterflies had the word open on that letter. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. So much synchronicities. And so when you were approached to be a part of this project, and to play on butterflies. So as a violinist, what comes to mind when you think of butterflies and the style you're going to play and the vibrations and the frequency of the music?
Well, this song was interesting because I heard it and I immediately knew. A lot of times when I play, I don't think. I just trust my fingers and my soul to create the notes that will be, embed themselves into what she's doing or whoever I'm working with is doing. And when I heard this, I heard flutters. That was the main. I saw the wings fluttering, the heart, the palpitations of the heart. And so I listened to the song once and then I played it. There was not much thinking. It just played it all the way through. Gave you a couple passes, I think three times.
I love that. Well, you're definitely in your zone of genius by being able to intuitively feel into it. And I love the word flutter and how you can really bring those sounds. And so let's have a listen. This is the song of the month. And I think it's great timing as well because the message also, we had our spring equinox towards the end of March. And here we are emerging into springtime where butterflies are abundant. And so without further ado, we're going to have a preview clip of the song by Tina Rose featuring Jamie Shadowlight on violin, Butterflies. Enjoy.
Stay with me, play with me, wrapped in your soul, surrendered by each kiss, love's magic we stole. Butterflies, I get butterflies when I see you. Butterflies when you're near, a taste of you inside each tear.
Oh, how lovely.
There's another little element in there, and that was sort of serendipitous. On my way to recording the song up in Ojai, at a studio in Ojai with the brothers and such, I was planning on visiting my daughter and little baby grandson in Oregon, in Bend, Oregon. And so I happened to have my daughter's silver baby rattle in the car. So I ran out to get the rattle and add the little twinklies to the song. So
Oh, that's what that is. It's amazing.
yeah, someone gave it to her. It was a sterling silver baby rattle and, in a velvet pouch and everything. And I thought, oh, great, I'll give this to her and for the baby. And then just went, hey, I'll run out and get that baby rattle. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I mentioned your launch party. That was a great success. So because you mentioned, let's bring in a little clip from your launch party. And here's your daughter and your grandson. How wonderful.
Entry people. And they chose 20 kids to perform. And she sang a cappella, I'm Walking on Sunshine. Remember that song? Yeah. Do you remember that, Alana?
Yeah, I do.
She was 11 years old. And just so precious.
Oh, so fantastic.
Yeah.
That's such a great, and the family was there at your launch party and multi-generations. And yeah, music is such a beautiful gift because I'm sure your grandson and everyone that was involved. And I heard so many beautiful backstories around this project. And I know it's been a dream come true to have your debut album. And each song to me really brings in a new emotion. There's such an eclectic variety on your album, Love Letters. And what you contributed, Jamie, really brought in that extra sparkle and this little rattle and this.
Yeah.
It just feels magical. I almost feel like someone could read me a bedtime story and just feel just that curiosity for life, and that innocence is really what I feel around that song.
Dave, I'd like to just also say I learned over time, because my background also includes working with energy and frequency. And I was always told that some of the highest frequency instruments out there, the violin and the harp. And so I believe Jamie's contribution with that amazing, beautiful, gorgeous violin was just the, icing on the cake. It was really, really beautiful. Appreciate it so much. And just also, I have another song, Soul Glow, that Jamie contributed her beautiful violin to as well. So thank you.
Here's the artwork for that. And so, such a beautiful album. And as you talked about being tapped into energy, this picture really, really takes that energetic place to a whole other location. You have the heart in your Tina, your love letters. You have the heart open, your heart-led artist, and then you have the rose, which are part of the earth. You have the ocean waves of being in the flow and being in your flow state. And what better way to live life but by saying, let's have our souls glow. Let's not live a small game or let's hide out or anything like that. Let's just courageously go for it. So that's what I have been really inspired by, all the titles of your music. And it really allows for people to feel into that. So I want to bring up the album artwork again, Butterflies. And I really love how the music, it's almost like a fairy tale, just takes you to this beautiful place. And everyone knows that feeling of having butterflies, and really love the lyrics as well.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Jamie, how many years have you been playing the violin?
I think it's at least several lifetimes.
Yeah. And I've had the honor to play with Jamie. The last time is when we did our big production Radiance, which was fantastic, to spontaneously allow for the music and the self-expression and creativity. And I think the three of us here understand, however life works, it's up and downs. And even I'm in Costa Rica, you're in California. We always electromagnetically find each other, musicians, creative souls, artists. There's a whole other pathway. And I always want to honor anyone that's watching right now, either live or on the archive, to really tap into what creativity means for you. Even if it means just drawing a butterfly on a piece of paper, coloring, just get into that playful state. Don't take life so heavy. You lighten up a little bit and fly around like a butterfly.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you woke up tomorrow morning and said, I think I'm going to have that butterfly moment today, and it might raise your sense of what you're experiencing for the entire day. And I think it's important for us to take responsibility for raising the frequency on the planet in whatever way we feel, inclined to do so, because we're all creatives. We all contribute. So I think it's about, what am I contributing? And the butterflies, I'm very happy to share that. So happy to share that, the sort of the essence of it, and what it radiates about being open and being excited about love and joy and flying free. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so anyone that wants to embody what the invitation is from Tina, is to feel that butterfly moment, where can we find you online? So where can we stream your music? Where's the best place we can go?
Okay. You could start off with my website, which is tinarosemusic.com. And I believe if you would like to get my little newsletter or updates on music, you can sign into that web page and get a free download. Also, as you can see, all the platforms I'm on iHeartRadio as well, and Bandcamp. There is, I have a YouTube site, which is Tina Rose Music, I believe is the name of it, on YouTube.
And Spotify, Pandora.
Yeah.
You're out there everywhere. That's great.
Yeah, it's so pinch me. I we only launched the music, about 6 weeks or so ago. So it's really a new experience to have my music out there, and it's very exciting. It's lovely.
Yeah. So several people that know my music in the world a lot of people are on Spotify. It seems like a lot of yoga instructors, people that are healers into energy work, breath work. And so if you happen to have a Spotify account, this is a great opportunity where you can add Tina Rose to your playlist. And as we mentioned, right now it's the month of April, and we're focused on a beautiful song called Butterflies. And then next month, Earn His Keep. So what you're doing, Tina, is you're launching a song as a feature per month, which I think is a brilliant idea to really get people to know the backstory and understand your creative process. And in total, this is a 35-minute long album, and it's 10 songs. And it's such a huge accomplishment. Jamie and I, and we were all talking about that in the green room before we went live, which is, to pull off an album is a big deal. If you think of all the production time, the emails, the back and forth, the text messages, you running out to your car and grabbing, going back in the studio. And, there's so many people that will never know the behind the scenes of what it took for this album to be created. So I just simply want to acknowledge you and your entire team that made it happen. And Jamie for being a yes to being a part of this project. And as you mentioned, so many divine souls that aligned. And as you said, there's such ease and flow when you were a yes. And once you said yes to this project, Tina, it just happened, right?
It really brings tears to my eyes because I do feel so blessed. And there was so much serendipity. And what is serendipity? It's God's blessing as far as I'm concerned. So it was, this whole experience has been a gift from the divine. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone that is open to listening to my messages and lyrics and melodies and all of the fabulous musicians and their contribution together. It's just a beautiful matrix of inspiration and love and joy. And just to give you fair warning, some of the lyrics tap into real life heartache, which is an opportunity to grow through. And so I invite you to listen to all aspects of the songs in the album.
Yeah, and we honor artists that are authentic and self-express, that are able to really put it out there and really be clear on, the message and the channel of energy that is now able to be out there. And if it weren't for that process and you honoring that, then we never have this gift of having Butterflies and having Love Letters and having all of these songs. And then I really love how your life as an author as well has tied into this album, and how the album reflects your book and you actually writing. So I'd love to bring in image of what people can do when they go to tinarosemusic.com. They can make a call and book with you in case they want to write their own story of their life. And this album is called Love Letters. And I feel like that's a really great context for everyone to understand of how you have been channeling messages and frequencies of people that want to have reconciliation, completion, or they simply want to have self-expression to any kind of breakdown that's happened in their life and have a breakthrough moment. And that's the power of scheduling a call with you, Tina. And your author name, you can see on the screen, is Christine Grant. And I love that with a K. Yep. And a lot of people know my birth name is David Glenn Kemp, and I am DTO in the artist world. And so I love how you get to have both avatars at play. And it really is powerful because I think it's such a synergetic way of being self-expressed with lyrics and poems and being an author and children's books and being a mother and being a really powerful artistic soul that's here to shine. So I really want to honor that in you. And do you have any closing thoughts?
Wow. Closing thoughts. Let's keep it opening thoughts. Let's stay open.
I love that.
No, seriously. Yeah. Okay. My thought is this. My wish for everyone listening, and I thank you for your time, is to really tap into what your natural instincts, your natural joy was growing up, before we were, quote, conditioned by, our culture and heritage and all of that stuff and society. But to go back into where you were at as a child and tap into what you absolutely were drawn to do and to love and to be inquisitive about, and perhaps explore that now, because this album tapped into a part of me that, through helping others, somehow came about with music. Like I said, starting off with helping kids with a transformational program for them, and then it went into music, and step by step, voila, here I am. And I just feel so relieved and joyful that I'm able to leave this legacy, or even to start this new path, I should say, um, and know that we can, in a way, create a new aspect of ourselves and set that free, just like the butterfly. It's transformative, and I wish all of you to have those fearless, transformative experiences. May you all fly free as you were born to be.
Mm. Thank you. That is so received and appreciated. And that's a beautiful invitation for everyone out there that's listening. And yeah, fly free and have a listen to the song Butterflies. Thank you both for being here, for your energy, your presence, your gifts, and for the collaborative spirit. That's what it's all about, is all of us supporting each other, seeing each of our geniuses. And as I mentioned earlier to Jamie, like when you're in your zone of genius, then anything's possible. You can intuitively understand what Tina was creating from the very start. It's like you created this garden, and then you allowed Jamie's violin to just dance and flutter and fly free. So thank
Yeah.
you. And anything else?
And Dave, thank you for helping me to become more inspired to and to bring forth my music to the world. I really appreciate you very much, and
You're welcome.
I love your creative spark as well when it comes to music and mindfulness and all of that. So, yeah.
Oh, I love the serendipity of how we both got to work together and play together. And
Yeah.
it's really been wonderful. And then for my amazing community and network of souls like Jamie Shadowlight here to be a part of this project, and it just keeps on expanding and growing, just like the wings of the butterfly. So thank you. So shall we close with the preview clip once again, so we can hear that flutter sound and really feel that twinkle in our hearts. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Blessings.
Thank you.
Stay with me, play with me, wrapped in your soul, surrendered by each kiss, love's magic we stole. Butterflies, I get butterflies when I see you. Butterflies when you're near, the taste of you.